Hey, Emma here from Team Living Your Dream. And today, in the 7-Minute Success Secrets, we're going to be talking about what goes on inside your mind will have a direct influence on the success in your life. And this is something I talk about quite a lot, and I make no apologies for that whatsoever, because success begins on the inside. Today, where you are in your life right now is as a direct result of your best thinking. Okay, think about that for a moment. Your thought patterns influence your whole world around you. And so wherever you're at in your life right now is as a result of how you think. Now, if that's not where you want to be, instead of looking for outside excuses and reasons, instead of handing over responsibility to something or somebody else in your life for your success or failure, that's where you've got to start looking at things from the inside. And it does all begin with your thought patterns, your thinking. Because everything starts from how you think. And how you think will be translated into your heart. For those of you who don't get the whole sort of universe thing and law of attraction and things, and who are logical, it's to do with how you think consciously goes into your subconscious, okay? And your subconscious can be aligned with your heart and how you're feeling, okay? So how you think determines how you feel, what comes from the heart. Now, what comes from the heart then comes out of your mouth. That's how you speak. So how you're feeling is how you're speaking, okay? And how you're speaking will influence your actions and how you're behaving. And how you're behaving influences what happens in your life. Okay, so it all starts from you. Now let's look at this in two different ways. For somebody, have you ever been around, I don't know, you might know people or who are very negative, or sorry, you have to excuse me if my voice goes or I keep coughing. The reason I haven't been online recently is because I've had a bit of flu, but I'm better now. But still affecting my voice. So, yes, have you ever been around somebody in, I don't know, a shop or somewhere like that who's complaining about the price of things and, oh, we can never afford that, we can't afford to do this, and I can't do that, and coming up with one excuse or the other. Now listen to what they're saying. They're saying, I can't afford that. Guess what? They can't. And it's not the other way around. They're not saying they can't afford it because they can't, which I know it seems like that. Bear with me a second. They have told themselves, they have allowed themselves to believe that they can't afford it. Now, actually, if that person were to sit down and either analyse what they're spending money on in their life, they will probably find that their priorities are a little bit different from the person who's saying, yes, I can afford it, who's in exactly the same situation. Wrong, I'm not talking about two different people who are on a widely different income scale. You will get this exactly the same from people who are, when they're on the same sort of income scale as people who can afford things and people who can't afford things. It's to do with priorities. But I'm digressing a little bit there. But the people who are saying, I can't afford it, they are telling themselves that that's never going to happen. The people who make it happen switch their thinking, switch their speech patterns, and it all begins with the thoughts. They change their thoughts from the negative, I can't, into a positive, how can I? Okay? So, and that's a fundamental difference, is switching from the I can't, or I can't because, to how can I? And as soon as we switch to how can I, then we've given an instruction to our brain. And our brain starts coming up with those answers for us. Well, how can I? What can I do to make this happen? And that will transpose into our attitude, into our beliefs, into our heart, into our whole body language and enthusiasm and energy. And soon we will become focused on how we can make this happen, how we can change our life from I can't because. I can't because is so negative and final, isn't it? And completely useless. I can't because. If you don't want to, say it. I don't want to. But don't use the excuse, I can't because that's just a negative way of thinking, and it comes out of our mouth and that's what happens, and we don't do anything because we've told ourselves it's not going to happen. But as soon as that switches into how can I, then our actions start to follow that. So it's our thoughts that start first, followed by our feelings, followed by our beliefs and our actions and what actually happens. So that's what I'm saying as I started, is your life and where you are at right now is as a direct result of your best thinking. If you want something to change in your life, your thinking has to change. So you need to learn how to think in a different way. It's not so hard doing that, but it takes practice, because if you've been practicing thinking negatively for a long time, you'll be really good at it. And you have to start practicing thinking in a positive way. And there are ways, which I'll come on to on my next video, my next vlog tomorrow, of ways of changing your thinking. So until then, I've been Emma from Team Living Your Dream. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.